So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well done to our reenactors, wearing very heavy uniforms on a very hot day. Now, the pet historian is going to fill you in with a little bit of the detail about the historic Battle of Antrim, which the rebels probably could have won.
Yes, they could have won. This is probably the representation we have today is probably the closing moments of the battle, where the United Irishmen are really being repulsed and repelled from Antrim town. It all started very, very differently. The rebellion was called for the 6th of June, and on the 7th of June was the day that the battle was to take place. But by the time that the United Irishmen had gathered their full force on Donegal Hill, there were probably 10,000 of them, but it was getting late in the day. Also, when they arrived at Donegal Hill, the Irish defenders arrived, and there's great animosity with the defenders and the United Irishmen because the defenders were viewed sort of as a sectarian murder gang. So lots of the United Irishmen refused to travel to the battle with the defenders, and there were a great number of desertions along the way because of the presence of the defenders. So by the time they arrived, they had 4,000 men to put against the 200 of the Antrim militia, and that was a mixture of foot, one cannon, and a detachment of dragoons.
And of course, while the Crown forces were exclusively male, the rebels included some wonderful female warriors.
They did indeed. The United Irishmen were not discriminating. Women fought side by side with men, and probably much more ferociously than many of the men did. But one of the little anecdotes that we have from the Battle of Antrim is that when the rebels were pressing hard against the militia men in charge of the artillery piece retreated, leaving the gun. They retreated inside the gates of the walls, and there was a local woman who was incredibly disgusted that they had abandoned the artillery piece. So she said if they paid her a shilling, she would go and retrieve it. So she was a big burly woman, so she got her shilling and she went out and she beat off the rebels and pulled the cannon back towards the militia.
Of course, one of the most famous rebels is immortalised in the Heart of Down.
Yes, Betsy Gray. Betsy Gray, being a Presbyterian, travelled to Ballyhinch with her lover and a group of friends. And when the battle was lost at Ballyhinch, she and her lover were returning home to the Dromara area in County Down. And unfortunately, they were met by a group of yeomanry from Hillsborough